Hello, you're listening to Season 3 of Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast. I'm Kimberly Evans, and I've been planning events, workshops, retreats, and socials for almost 20 years. After working with so many incredible clients and entrepreneurs, and personally experiencing hardship in life and business, I've discovered how powerful our mindset and purpose is in creating a life of joy and celebration while having a whole lot of fun along the way. Join me with a coffee or cocktail as I connect with inspiring leaders, entrepreneurs, tastemakers, and extraordinary people as they share their journey in life and business and how they are striving to live a life of purpose. Your fears and beliefs in yourself will be transformed as you work towards creating the best version of yourself from the inside out. You're in good company. Cheers to celebrating simple life. Before we dive into today's show, I want to feature an Apple Podcast review from Amanali 1982. It says, I love hearing all the interviews with local business people here in Saskatchewan. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but it is really great to hear all of the promotion of Saskatchewan business owners and entrepreneurs. I love Kimberly's upbeat, positive nature and vibes she gives off. I have found out about a lot of new local small businesses too. Thank you so much, Amanali 1982, for taking the time to leave a review and spreading the love for Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast. As a thank you, please email Kimberly at celebratingsimplelife.com so I can send you a free gift. I am so grateful for every single review. They only take a minute. You can even press pause right now and scroll down on the podcast home screen and take that minute right now to leave a quick review. It makes such a difference as I grow Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast. Now, on with the show. Thank you so much for joining me today. I could not be more excited to chat with you all about ways that social media can not only just feel like a bit of a task, which I know it does for a lot of us in our businesses, where there is so much to do when you own a business. There is so many things and so many hats to wear, and it is come to the forefront, specifically in the last few months, as I've chatted with other business owners, experienced this personally for myself in business, as I've tried to pivot and figure out how to move Celebrating Simple Life in a new direction, that social media has so many great purposes, and it also takes up so much time. So I wanted to chat today a little bit about 5 ways that social media can be more manageable and ways to actually have fun while sharing your story of life and business to the world, which that's ultimately what the purpose of social media is. I think it can be used for many different reasons, but I think there's a lot of misconception sometimes in thinking that social media is meant to portray a perfect grid of what's going on in your life. And for myself, I've realized a lot in these last few months, and I'm going to introduce to you a really amazing event that I will be launching this fall. But first, I wanted to just talk about these 5 things that for me personally have really changed the way that I have viewed social media. I took a big social vacation this summer and really was not on social media at all, personally or professionally, for most of the summer. And really only just a few weeks ago in August have sort of reframing things and figuring out how to show up in business this fall again. And I am so excited to announce a few things later on in the show. But I wanted to just talk about, number 1, what the purpose of social media is for you and your business. And for everyone, this is different. There's people on social media just for fun and using it personally. When you're using it for your business, it's a little bit of a different ball game. And I feel like even within knowing whether you're using it personally or professionally, you have to have a bit of a purpose as to what you're hoping to get out of your social media. And I think that when you are coming up with ideas of what to post and how to show up, that sometimes we get this idea that we're supposed to be really focusing on growing our following and how do we do that? And we're so focused on getting more follows that we forget that the actual purpose often in using it in business is as a marketing tool and to make sales. And that is where I see a lot of small businesses getting a little bit caught up in the wrong ways of social media. And I have fallen into this as well and have learned so much and done so much professional development in this area over the last year. And I'm so excited to move forward in a new direction that has really changed my thought process. And I want that for you too. If you are feeling overwhelmed and spending way more time than you know you probably should be on curating your social media feed and figuring out what to post and what to write and what images you need to put out there, and are feeling like you want to show up authentically, but you just aren't totally sure how, and it just feels overwhelming and a lot of work, you are not alone. This is something that time and time again, I keep hearing business owners say that they are really overwhelmed and stressed about how to use social media in their business. And they know that they need to be showing up online. Obviously, we've learned now, especially in the last 6 months during this pandemic, that that is where business has to happen when you can't get together in person or show up in places. And things are reopening and the world is slowly starting to refigure things out. But I think everyone would agree that having an online presence for our businesses is pretty much essential. And so, number one, figuring out what your purpose is the key. So if you sell a product or you sell a service in your business, you need to know what you are trying to do on social media. And this doesn't just mean sell. There is a time to be showing up just as yourself. People want to know you. They want to know about your personal life. They want to know about your business, and you can share however much or little as you choose to share. And I've realized for myself that there was a lot of pieces about my story and my life that I kind of sometimes assumed that other people knew, and haven't maybe taken the time to put myself out there in a way where somebody that would maybe be new to following Celebrating Simple Life would even maybe know about me. And so I'm trying to reiterate certain things about myself and having it be a real balance between what I am doing in my business, but how what I do in my business also shows up in my personal life. So figuring out what your purpose is for your social media in your business and what you are trying to do is number one. And I think taking time to do that first before just posting and not really knowing what you're hoping to get out of it is when we feel like we aren't sure if certain marketing strategies are working for us. Number two, it's really important to know who it is that you are speaking to. I have worked with an amazing company who is helping me work through some of my client profiles in the last year, and it has been amazing for me to understand specifically who my clients are. And I know that that sometimes feels like a lot of work to just take the time to figure that all out. But if we don't know who that is, then we can't really expect to be speaking to the right person when we are talking on social. And I know many times I've had this happen to myself where I'll be scrolling through my social feeds and just looking at things, and whether I'm just mindlessly scrolling through or intentionally connecting with people in business, but I'll be scrolling through my home feed and all of a sudden I'll read a caption of somebody's post and I'll be like, are they speaking directly to me? Did they get inside my brain somehow and actually know what it is that I'm thinking? And that is a perfect example of their post working for me. They were able to figure out who their client is, and the way they were speaking made it seem like they were writing the post just for me, and it's engaged me. I would start following them. I would continue to look up their posts because they have now captured my attention because I feel like they know me. And so that is the key, to know who you're talking to. And it doesn't mean that you have to just be speaking to one person, but you need to get your profiles figured out. And the rule for this is to kind of come up with 1 to 5 type of ideal clients that would be your perfect client in your business. And sometimes they're called avatars or however you want to talk about that, but you can put them together to actually know who you're speaking to. And for myself, I've actually decided to give my avatars names. I give them names and faces. Some of them are people that I've worked with before who really were the perfect type of client that I dream of working with. And some are clients that I haven't had before that I hope to have in the future. And so it really is important to really know who you are speaking to. And there's times where I have a picture in mind as to which avatar I'm talking to. And then when I'm writing the words for an Instagram post, I'm actually envisioning that person and what I would say to them if I was talking to them in person, and imagining my Instagram as a conversation with people rather than thinking of it as static words. And that really, it continues to be a work in progress because sometimes it's easy to kind of fall back on what we're used to, but really keeping that in mind, whether you're talking about something personal or business. And this isn't just in posts where you're kind of trying to direct a potential client or customer to something. It's in all of the posts where you're really sharing authentically, but you're talking to them as if you're talking to a friend, so that it really feels like you're building a relationship with the people that are choosing to follow you, and essentially build a community around what your purpose and mission in your business is. So number 3 would be scheduling and time management. And I know for myself, I wear a lot of hats. I have my business that has lots of different clients in it. So it's kind of jumping from project to project. My children are schooling from home this fall. And so it's managing their school schedules. It's managing life and a household and a family and all of the things in between. And it really does take a lot of scheduling in order to feel like you can just enjoy your life and have fun. And for myself, having a schedule that allows me to know when I'm working and when I'm not really makes a big difference in being able to create boundaries in my life and business. But beyond just having a schedule of knowing when I'm working, specifically with social media, I've really started in the last few months creating a specific schedule as to what I'm posting when, and trying to schedule a minimum of a week ahead of time on certain things. And there's a lot of things that I pop up onto in Instagram stories, but kind of having a general idea of what I'm posting about, as well as when I'm posting, so that I'm not just popping onto Instagram all of the time and then all of a sudden realizing that an hour has passed and oh man, I was going to be working on this, and this, but I got sidetracked because I looked and I saw there was an alert on my Instagram. How many times have you done this? You're looking at something totally different, or you're working and you have your phone beside your computer, and all of a sudden you're just checking something random and you realize that you see an alert badge, a red circle with a number in it, and you look and you've realized you have a few messages you need to reply to, and all of a sudden you're replying and you're scrolling through your home feed and you look, and the whole hour, 2 hours that you thought you were going to get something done has passed. And not that it's a waste of time, because there's a lot of things that really do come good out of connecting with people on social media. But I think sometimes it's so easy to jump around from thing to thing, and then it's just really easy to be distracted. And so one of the practices that I am really working hard to become more habitual in is to have a schedule and be checking it during that schedule, but giving myself a time limit on scrolling and connecting with others and replying to messages, and then having my posts scheduled so that I can do that from my computer and I'm not getting sucked into just aimlessly scrolling through social media to look at what's going on, which is all fine and good, but it's making me realize that I just wasn't being as productive as I could be in my day-to-day work day that I've created for myself. And so one of the platforms that I have used for quite a long time already is Later. This is not a sponsored post by them at all, but it is a really easy to use. There's a free version and a paid version. and I have used both of them at different intermittent times, and they really do offer a lot of features and a lot of things that make scheduling easier so that you don't have to be spending so much time day to day actually on the app doing the posting. So for myself, that has been a really great time saver, and just felt like it's added more hours into my work day that can be actually working on work tasks rather than just focusing on social media. Number 4, this is one that I feel is just a constant conversation between business owners that I connect with, and for myself, where it feels like there is a social media reality versus keeping up with the Joneses mentality. And I don't know about you, but this goes in waves, ebbs and flows for myself and in my business. And sometimes when I've been feeling really great about things that are going on and it's flowing along and business is going well. And then other times when it's a season of feeling like there's just been a lot of dead ends and things haven't been going the way I was thinking that they were going to go. And it's really easy to look at the snippets that you see on social media and assume that everyone else around you's lives are running perfect and smooth because you are making the assumption that looking at their social media feed is in fact an exact depiction of their real life, right? I think that all of us would be guilty of having this happen to us in different moments. And there's times where I have just had to mute or unfollow certain things, not because of any reason, except there are certain times of season where maybe I don't feel as healthy or well, or things that are causing a bit of a trigger, and I have to remove myself from certain things just in order to protect my mental health. And then I take a like self-reflection to that as well and ask myself why this is triggering or bothering me, and just making certain that there aren't any sort of negative feelings towards the things that I'm seeing in my feed. And this is a bit of a touchy subject sometimes for people, but I really think that more now than ever, we have this opportunity to really take inventory of our own lives and businesses and determine what works for us and what doesn't. And it is completely different for every single human being. And there is no right or wrong way to do this. Whatever feels right for you in the moment, in how you operate your business and how you show up on social media or don't show up on social media, that is also perfectly acceptable. And I think that one of the things that happens is I think there's sometimes a bit of a misconception in thinking that gaining more followers and having that be your end goal is ultimately the way to success in business. And yeah, there is definitely a lot of things that the more followers you have and different sort of opportunities that open up through social media channels of what features you get and different things, the more followers you have, of course. But the one thing that doesn't change is there is a difference between showing up on your social media and actually running your business. And I think a lot of times we've just been so trained to think that social media equals running a successful business rather than understanding that social media is meant as a marketing tool for your business. It is a marketing tool. It is a place to show up. It is a place to sell. It is a place to connect. It is a place to be able to put out to the world what you are so passionate and excited for in your life and business. And it doesn't mean that because you have so many followers that you are actually doing well in your business. Again, it's showing up in a way of what do you actually want to be doing in your business? Do you want to sell more products? Do you want to have more clients? Do you want to offer this type of service? Do you want to offer that type of service? Is there something that you wish was happening? Those are the purposes of what social media can help do. It's not about saying, oh, great, I have this many followers, now I've made it big. There's a lot of people with tons of followers who are making $0 in their business because they are spending all of their time on social media and aren't actually making any business sales. And so I think that it's just really important to remember your why and your purpose, and to just take time to self-reflect on that and figure out how you want to show up in your business so that you're there for a specific purpose and you are feeling well and healthy in how you've chosen to show up, so that when you do come across different things on Instagram where you see somebody posting something about their success and you can honestly be happy for their success rather than having it feel like you're a failure. There is so much room in this big world for all of us to show up in the ways that we want to show up, and we just need to stay in our own lane. And if there is something that doesn't sit well with you, you don't have to give any explanation as to why. It can just be okay that that's the way that it is, and you don't need to apologize for it, and you just need to do you. So there's my rant for the day. Number 5, this kind of leads right into it again, is being authentic and being yourself. I find sometimes that it goes back and forth with just being fully transparent. The nature of the business that I'm in, with events and parties and all of that type of thing, there is an illusion of perfection that comes with the things that go on. And it's hard. I have found it hard sometimes to show up in a way that doesn't feel like it's only just showing beautiful images. I love pretty things. I love beautiful images. And that is what I gravitate to when I'm looking through Instagram, because they make me happy. And that is how I love to show up. But I'm also not afraid to show up on an Instagram story with no makeup, hair blowing in the wind, talking about something really crap that's happened today. And there are seasons of it feeling easier to show up than others. And I think, again, it's just a matter of doing what feels like you, and not because somebody else is or isn't doing something, and not because you feel like you have this pressure of what you should be doing. But if it is not sitting well with you, if you are having a gut feeling that something in your life and business is just not feeling like the way you want it to, take the time to actually dig into that and figure out why, and figure out ways for you. And maybe it means you need to take a break from social to reset and figure out what's going on in your life and business. I did this summer, and it was the best thing that I could have done. I was so productive in the back end planning of how I wanted to show up in my business this fall, because I could spend all of the time that I had been devoting to social media, where I kind of felt like I just had to continue to post. And when COVID hit, my world was rocked upside down from a business perspective, like so many people's as were. Event planning was not the industry to be in, and there were so many different ways that I had to sort of refigure out how I wanted my business to look, because getting together in person, which was the way that my business had been running for many years, just wasn't an option. And I had never come across this before. And so it wasn't like overnight I suddenly was able to just wake up the next day and say, oh, good, now I'm going to be doing this. I honestly was thinking about, do I need to change careers? Do I need to figure this out? I want to be able to support my family, and that is why I work so hard, and I love what I do. So I didn't want to have to stop doing what I did, but I was realistic to know that these are unprecedented times and something had to give. And so I chose to just say, what can I remove out of my life right now in order to free up some time for me to spend that in personal development, in business development, to figure out what I needed to do to grow to the next stage, which is why I am so excited to launch this event that I am about to reveal to you. Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast, is a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network, which is supported by Connexus. Does money spark joy in your life or cause you stress? If you said stress, you're not alone. For 42% of Canadians, their biggest stressor comes from money. At Connexus, they care about your financial well-being. Money doesn't have to be stressful, and Connexus is here to help. The Connexus Money Talk blog provides expert advice, tips, and solutions for all life stages and events. Getting married, buying a house, budgeting, saving, they cover it all and more. And did I mention it's free? Check it out today at connexusmoneytalk.ca and start feeling confident and stress-free about your money. I could not be more excited to share with you today a very exciting new event that I am launching right now in September for the very first time. So I wanted to just backtrack a little bit before getting into all of the details of this event because like every other human in this world, these last 6 months, almost 7 months, I guess, have been unpredictable, to say the least. And I know we're all so tired of talking about COVID and all of the things, and so am I. It's been mentally and physically and emotionally exhausting just to have to sort of have this top of mind all of the time. But it really has taken me a while to figure out during this time how to pivot in my event planning business. And I know that in speaking with lots of you who have reached out to me and in having conversations with friends and other business colleagues, this has just been a really interesting time as a business owner because nobody knows what to expect. Things are changing day by day, and the rules could change again, and what is allowed and what isn't allowed and what is acceptable. And it's just been kind of exhausting to kind of feel like you have to keep figuring everything out. And I don't know, I find myself second guessing myself a little bit more. And it's taken a while to get to a place where I'm kind of ready to launch again. So as you know, I took a social vacation for July and August, and it was glorious. Now, the summer sun and the hot temperatures are my absolute happy place. And it really gave me a lot of time to reflect and really just decide what I wanted this fall to look like. And because I'm an event planner and owning my own business, I've had the luxury and I guess the detriment of trying to sort of reinvent and figure out how I want to move forward in this industry. And it really doesn't feel like a very good time to be an event planner. And so I've just been dreaming and trying to think of ways that I get to continue working with female small business owners and connecting with people in the community and doing what I love while also staying safe and realizing that the world as we know it is still in a little bit of a different place. And because of having my daughter, Cassidy, who has cystic fibrosis, I've been even in a bit of a different position than some are with really still staying quite isolated and socially distanced and just trying to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to keep her and my family safe. And so it's really led me to have to dig really deep into myself personally, as well as figuring out in business how this looks moving forward. So I have to say that between having really great days and really bad days and everything in between, all of a sudden, I woke up one morning, and it's really a crazy story. I do not like waking up early. I wish that I could be part of the 5 a.m. club and do all the things and be up and have my day half done before my kids wake up, but that is just not me. And so one morning, after really spending a lot of time doing some business development and taking a few courses and reading and doing personal development and all of the things, I just really felt like I couldn't turn my brain off. And it just was to the point where I just had to kind of stop and make sure I was just taking care of myself and relaxing because I was overthinking everything and just really didn't feel clear in what direction I wanted to go with the business, and kind of was feeling a bit of a deadline for September because I obviously want to grow and learn and be able to support my family with the work that I do. And it just felt like something had to give, and I wasn't sure what that was. So one morning at 5 a.m., when I never like to be up, all of a sudden I was wide awake. And I wasn't sure if I had been dreaming up an idea or if all of a sudden this idea that was floating through my mind just woke me up out of my sleep, but it felt like this miraculous experience. And I just woke up and the idea for what I'm about to share with you just came flooding to my mind. And I was trying to decide if I should try to close my eyes and go back to sleep, but I just couldn't get these ideas to stop bubbling. So I got up, made coffee, and just sat on my computer and just started typing and typing and typing. And all of these ideas just flooded out of me. And it felt so good. And that hasn't happened for a really long time. And I feel like I've spent sort of the last few months really just troubleshooting and trying to help pivot some of the projects that I was working on in order to keep them going either in a virtual sense or help businesses more from a social media marketing kind of standpoint as they're trying to pivot in their own business. And that's been what I've been kind of working on in the background. And this felt really good to think that I get to help other businesses as well as really reinvent the types of events that I'm working on as well. So I am so delighted to introduce you to the Celebrating Simple Life curated content socials. Now, you know me, I love a good social, a good party. And while trying to keep everyone and myself and family safe, I knew that being in larger crowds and events as we know it are going to look really different. And one of the common denominators that I felt have sort of kept coming up over and over as I'm talking to other women in business and leaders in the community and just hearing thoughts on what's working and what's not working in different businesses, the thing that keeps coming up over and over is how much time business owners are spending on social media, from just thinking up ideas to creating the posts to figuring out what images to use for the post and what to write and when to post and all of the things in between, that they're spending so much time. And that's actually was a problem that I was trying to solve for myself. Also, leading up to the time that I decided to take a social vacation for July and August, I was just feeling too overwhelmed. I didn't really know what I was posting about anymore. I didn't even really know how to promote my business of what I did as an event planner because everything was closed and shut down, and it just didn't really feel like there was a purpose behind my posting. And that was part of my aha moment, is there needs to be purpose behind this. And yes, it's amazing to feel like you get to share a part of yourself when you're sharing personally and professionally on social media. But if there's not a purpose behind it, and if you aren't actually using this for reasons to either grow your business or to connect more with others, then why are we actually doing this? And I've heard from so many people as to how many hours a week they feel that they're spending on their social media, which yes, is promoting your business, but there's also a lot of times which feels like you're kind of just doing it because you feel like you have to. And there's this certain pressure, I think, that we put on ourselves where we give ourselves the list of everything that we have to be doing and showing up on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter, and for me with a podcast, and some people blog, and 100 other things that I'm not even listing. It's just really overwhelming sometimes to feel like there's just this, I should be doing this, and yet actually marketing and working on your business and actually fulfilling jobs and paying clients in the business are two very separate things, and they need to work together. But sometimes it's easy to spend so much time on the promoting and the marketing and doing just business tasks that you realize that you get to the end of the week and you're like, have I actually done something directly that's bringing in revenue? Like, this purpose is to love what I do, but this has to make money or else it is not called a business. That is a hobby. And so that was sort of the point that I was getting to, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I just had to make some really big decisions because this has been something that none of us have been able to predict. And so I decided that these curated content socials were going to be the perfect way for me to get to do what I love, connect with business owners, and have a really good time while we're doing this. So I wanted to just describe to you what a curated content social actually is and how you might find that this could hopefully benefit you in your life and business, and see if it's something that you want to grab your ticket for our September 17th event out at City Girl Flower Farm. And so what the social actually is we are having 12 spots available. Yes, only 12. And we are keeping it really small because I want everyone to be safe. And I want this to be a time where everybody attending feels that they actually get a chance to meet everybody that's there and have real conversations and turn it into a bit of a social mixer, but also feeling like you are getting what you need out of it. So when you purchase a ticket to a curated content social, what you are exactly purchasing is a ticket to reserve your spot of the 12 available for a monthly event. So each month there is going to be an event taking place in a unique location that you get to attend in person. These are not virtual events. This is an in-person, which is why we're keeping the grouping so small. And what this is essentially is an event that is a photo shoot where you are actually going to get to come, get your hair, makeup touched up, feel really great, meet other women in different industries, and have a good time, have some food and beverages, and get to have some one-on-one time with a professional photographer who will be capturing things that you wish to be captured so that you get to leave this 3-hour event with an entire gallery of images of yourself, as well as everything that happened throughout the evening to use on your marketing and social media feeds exactly as you wish. You get to use them. You get to have other people in them. You get to have yourself in them. You can bring props along of things that you might actually want. I know that for some of the business owners that have signed up, they want to bring their laptop to look like they're working. They want to bring things, and they don't want these to look like fake images. I think sometimes the images that we see on Instagram, yes, can be really put together, but we want them to be beautiful yet realistic as to what your days look like. And I know for myself, sometimes I'm attending an event or I'm just doing something day to day where I'll even maybe just get one of my kids to snap a picture of it. And obviously it never really quite looks like the way that you're wanting it to be. And it's hard to capture things that look like real life, but still have them look beautiful. And I'm all about sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. And it by no means needs to mean that your Instagram feed needs to be perfect. But I think there's a certain look that a business wants as they're branding and putting together their social feeds, and a way to really put your best foot forward in a way that still feels really authentic to yourself. And that's where I feel like these events are going to be the perfect solution to the age-old problem of trying to figure out having the right images to post. You can choose to come to one of these events. You can choose to get your ticket for them on a regular basis, depending on what types of photos you're needing. And I will be having October, November, and December posted shortly online so that you can look ahead, see if that's something that is suited to the type or style of photos that you're wanting based on the location and the kind of general theme that's there, and see if it works for you. Now, one of the reasons why this is a social that's going to help solve a problem for you is because I don't know if you have ever tried to put together a photo shoot for yourself or decided, oh man, I really need some new images of myself. And you start the process of maybe looking into booking a photographer or looking into deciding like where you might want these photos taken. Do you want them inside, outside? What type of look matches what you're going for? Well, maybe I should have these items or this type of activity or food or beverage or prop or thing that I want to have a part of the thing. And all of a sudden you realize that you are spending endless hours trying to put this all together. You're spending a lot of money, which if you're doing it properly is always a great investment. However, it's expensive, and running a business is, you got to put money in to make money and invest wisely and do things that you feel are right for you. But it really is expensive. And I wanted to sort of help solve that problem because coordinating everything is exactly what I love to do. And I know that for business owners, that just adds another thing to your plate. It adds another something that you need to think of in a week when you need to be focusing on running your business, doing what you love, and not worrying about things like, do I have the right images to post on my social? And whether you are a person who is a one person solopreneur that is doing everything on your own, and you are every single hat under your business, or you've maybe started to contract a few services out where maybe you have somebody that posts on social for you, or maybe you're thinking of moving in that direction. Maybe you have a large team of people that works with you and for you, and you want one of them to come to one of these socials just to get some really unique, beautiful, different things for your social media. All of these are options. And I think that's the great part about this event, is that it's just a good time, as well as you're getting such valuable content out of it. And so I am so excited to be launching these on a monthly basis, and for you to be not only feeling a sense of relief that you are able to attend an event that is going to help solve a problem for you and get you beautiful images without needing to spend thousands of dollars and how many hours of time in coordinating everything and putting it all together. You just get to show up. You get to enjoy, you get to be taken care of, you get to meet new people, you get to have all of the images afterwards, you get to stay connected with the participants that are attending the event and the other businesses who are offering of their services and products to be a part of the shoot as well. And so it's just going to be a really unique experience. And so I want to encourage you, if you are feeling alone in your business, or you are feeling overwhelmed and tired and stressed, and you also have just spent the last however many months trying to either pivot or grow, or you're wondering if this is even the right business for you to be in, I hear you. You are not alone. And I just want to encourage you in that. And if this is resonating with you and you are feeling like this might be just the thing that you needed in order to help connect you with other women in business, or to just take that step in getting your first batch of really beautiful, authentic storytelling photos for your social and marketing purposes, this is going to be a game changer for you. And I would love to see you at this next event. And there are only 12 spots available, and a number of them are already gone. And so if you're having that nudge and you're thinking this might be for you, just go on to celebratingsimplelife.com. The link is in the show notes, and you can just click through, grab your ticket online, and you will receive all of the details and just feel taken care of. And we are going to be in a beautiful location just outside of Saskatoon here, and hoping for beautiful weather, and rain or shine, this location is the perfect place at City Girl Flower Farm. And it is just like a little retreat out there. And so not only is the experience and what you're getting out of it going to be amazing, but just those 3 hours of hanging out and being able to do something different and spend time together is going to be something that is going to stir something in you in order to feel that extra push to keep motivated and going in your business. Because, hey, I get it. This is not for the weak of heart to ever be a business owner, let alone during this time when things have been so challenging. And so these curated content socials are for you. This is to help you in your business. And I am so excited to meet you and to see you at the next event. And if you have any questions about these, or you're wanting to, I've already had inquiries about other businesses wanting to kind of book out an entire shoot of 12 spots for their own purposes so that they don't have to coordinate it themselves, but they want to do something really unique and are open to different ideas and want assistance in that. That is an absolute option too. So please reach out. Drop a comment on Instagram, send me an email, Kimberly@celebratingsimplelife.com. And I just really want to connect with you, and we're in this together. And if you need to hear that today and know that you're not alone in your business, that is what excites me so much as I move forward in trying to create events with purpose, and for us to just stay connected, even though there have been a lot of limitations in the last 6 months. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I am just beyond excited to launch these curated content socials and to have you join me in person for the next one. And I will see you there. This show would not be possible without you, my incredible listeners. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to Celebrating Simple Life on Apple Podcasts or download and listen on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you choose to listen. If you really want to make my day, leave a review. These reviews, ratings, and sharing screenshots of podcast episodes that were engaging for you on your Instagram stories and tagging friends that you think should hear the episode too really helps the podcast grow. It makes me so happy that I often select reviews to read on the show, and if yours is chosen, you will receive a special gift from me. Thank you for being a part of my mission to connect stories of business and life. Cheers to Celebrating Simple Life.